I've been traveling the world now for more than 8 years, yet never have I seen a thing like this before. It's a holiday when rules stop existing and grown-ups become children once more. A celebration as old as the pyramids. Yet here in India, they just say, this is Holi. Friends, we are Joe and Liisu, and after about 8 months of driving east through some of the craziest countries in the world, we have made it to India, and what a time it is to visit this country. Today marks the first day of spring in India, and together with this starts one of the craziest festivals in the world.
It's called Holi, and we actually have no idea what's going to happen to us foreigners during the next few days here in Pushkar.
Our journey this time takes place in quite a fascinating place. You see, in the eyes of Hindus, this town is holy. It sits on the shores of an enchanted lake and is home to the only temple in the world that is dedicated to the god Brahma. But Brahma isn't the only god who has a temple here. In this small holy town, with a little more than 20,000 residents, one can find more than 1,000 bigger and smaller temples. Some of them are in the form of trees, yet others can fit hundreds of people. And moreover, to preserve the holy atmosphere of the place, even alcohol and meat are banned inside Pushkar. For about 350 days of the year, it's a town of peace and tranquility. But well, let's just say that we were not here during one of the quiet nights. The celebration of Holi is the second biggest holiday in India, and for the town of Pushkar, it means that close to 1 million visitors come here to celebrate the triumph of good over evil and beginning of spring. But before we get to the crazy and colorful part, I want to tell you a bit more about this holiday.
Holi is festival of colors, so it's a joyful festival over here in India.
During our stay in Pushkar, we were fortunate enough to meet Nikit. Ever since he can remember, this holiday has been celebrated by his family, and with every story he told, we started understanding that this festival is so much more than just throwing colors at each other. One thing we realized straight away was the age of this celebration. While traveling in India, it's easy to forget that this culture and religion is one of the oldest still remaining on our planet. And this holiday itself is much older than Christmas or Ramadan combined. Probably even older than the pyramids themselves. It's funny to think that before the rise of today's modern religions, this was probably how our ancestors too celebrated holidays. But what is it that keeps a tradition alive for thousands of years? Well, in Holi's case, the answer is quite simple. It's the timing. This celebration is held every year during the first full moon of the spring. And it consists of 2 main parts. One part is probably familiar to you. It's the celebration of colors on the second day of the festival. Yet, there's a much more spiritual and ancient side to this holiday. This ceremony is held on the first evening of Holi and is called Holika Dahar. Together with the rising moon starts the last night of the winter. For locals, it's a time of reflection. They look back on the previous year, and all over the town, bonfires are lit. Symbolically, stacks of hay are thrown into the fire, representing the evil and bad things that locals want to rid themselves of. In a weird way, the closest thing that this night reminded me of was New Year's Eve. It feels like a beginning of a new chapter. And here, in Pushkar, It is one of the most important events of the year. The whole town starts to breathe as one. And we felt extremely blessed to be part of this. It's one of those moments when all of your thoughts just disappear. And suddenly, a simple act of being brings you joy. With the end of the ceremonies and beginning of the night, Holi had officially started. And little did we know that this peace we felt inside was simply the quiet before the storm. For many Hindus, Holi is the most joyful part of the year. It's the time of harvest, time of celebration. And as we soon learned the hard way, locals really do not want to waste any moment they have to celebrate. It's 1 o'clock at night. Party started half an hour ago. There was total silence before. I think it's been the loudest night of my life. I don't know where we will find the energy to go and have fun now, but we'll do our best. Holi! Like I mentioned before, almost 1 million visitors come to this town during holidays, and many of them want to have fun. Which now brings us to the second day of the celebration. It's the morning and second day, and the atmosphere in town is totally different. There's music playing, there's people happy partying. This day marks the first day of spring, the triumph of good over evil. And for locals, it's the time of fun.
Each and every person would be full with colors and will enjoy to the fullest.
As soon as we entered the streets, it became obvious that greeting people works a little differently on the first day of spring. Instead of saying hello, it's a custom to rub colors on other person's cheeks and forehead. Here it's called playing Holi. It happened really fast. We just walked out on the street and people just came to greet us, and I guess we are blessed in for Holi. And after the playing part, everybody wishes each other happy Holi. The colored powders that people carry are made out of cornstarch, and each color used has a meaning. Red, for example, symbolizes love. Green, on the other hand, stands for new beginnings. So every time a new load of color hits you, it is meant to bring wealth and happiness into the new year. No wonder kids absolutely love this holiday. It's a day without rules. Everyone who enters the streets has silently agreed to be a part of the war that is fought with water and powdered paint. At times it can get quite intense, especially as a foreigner. Because Hindus, of course, are a welcoming nation, and they just love to give extra layer of color and blessings to all visitors. And then, of course, they want to take selfies to immortalize their paintwork as a picture. Luckily here in Pushkar, it's like an unwritten law that there is no playing with color around the holy lake. For us, it created a moment to catch our breath. Just taking a little breather.
It all happened so fast. We got out of the bus and it took a minute and we ended up like this.
Yes. It's so much fun. Everybody is super happy on the street. And kids love it. Like, I got hit by a few water balloons and they were just enjoying hitting the big weird looking teeth. So far I thought Christmas was the best children's holiday. It is not. Holi is so much better. It was quite incredible how different the feeling was here next to the lake. On the streets there was total chaos. Here, a magical harmony. Once we returned to the streets, the mood on the alleyways had changed. As I mentioned before, alcohol in this town is prohibited. Yet there is another drink associated with this holiday. It's called magic or special lassi, and it tastes like a sweet milkshake. Yet after drinking it, people are known to laugh and dance from the bottom of their hearts. I must admit that as time passed, laughing and dancing became more and more common on the streets. People were having fun, dancing, singing, playing with colors. There was no room here for nothing but happiness. Around this time of the celebration, we decided to finally meet our demons, to leave the streets behind once more, and head to the place that kept us awake for the whole night. Our day until this point had been quite intense, but compared to this dance floor, it was nothing. I'm still not really sure if it was the spirit of Holi or the special lassie that made me do it, but for some reason I decided to guide us in the center of this chaos, to the heart of Holi. It was a mistake, yes, it was fun for about 2 seconds, but then I realized that there was a reason why only guys occupied this dance floor and girls had decided to stay on the sidelines. And then, all of a sudden, I felt a strong muscular hand grabbing my behind. I had no idea who it was, as my eyes at the same time were filled with paint. But this moment made me realize that we should leave quickly, before the same thing happens to Liisu. Well, lesson learned. Maybe being in the heart of Holi was a little too harsh for 2 rookies like us, but seeing it from a sidelines with the help of a local friend was freaking amazing. When we returned to the streets for the last time, it was again like a different world. The celebration had ended and the process of cleaning begun. Cobblestones on the street had been evenly covered in a weird shade of pink. I think this is what you get if you mix all colors together. And if I had to name this color, I would say this is Holi.